Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me on yet another YouTube video. If you're new, make sure you're subscribed, turn on your post notifications and leave a comment. Why don't you guys talk to me? Thumbs up as well. I always need that. Now let's just jump into it. It's all a lie. If somebody tells you they can guarantee your safety in Germany, in Europe, when you're an au pair, they're lying. They're telling you a bold-faced lie. The industry that au pairs enter when they come to Germany is so poorly regulated and it does not have any kind of union. So it's completely up to the family how they choose to treat you, the kind of moral and ethical values that they have, and it is what it is. In fact, if you look on Facebook, on Au Pair World, you will find people actively trying to exploit people. You find that there's a preference for Africans and Asians. At this point in time, there's a preference for Asian girls, particularly because they are malleable, exploitable, come from poor nations, and the visa process at this point in time is easier for them. So don't trust anybody. And this is why I'm making this video. There are certain things that you can do to improve your chances of safety, and I really want to delve into that. Now let's get into it. First things first, don't come to Germany without A2. The reason why I say you need at least A2 is because you can pivot towards a social year when you have A2, and of course you can change other families. You always want to have the opportunity to jump into another step because it's not promised. You just need to have that kind of flexibility, and A1 is not going to cut it. If you can have B1, even better, because then you can jump into an Ausbildung, a volunteer year, and of course you can remain in a pair. Second thing, before you even come to Germany, don't talk to any family on Facebook, Instagram, or Pair World. Leave those platforms alone. Those platforms mean you're talking directly to a family that can lie to you. There's no due process and there's no one else to kind of filter that process and see. Don't also use any agency from your home. I repeat, don't use the agencies that are from your home. I'm not an agency, but I do have a consultancy service if you want more information, especially when they're not tied to another agency here in Germany. The reason why is I know somebody who was with a Zimbabwean agency and a Zimbabwean agent. This is a person who lies, who says they're an agent and are probably using Au Pair World as well to secure families for people. And what happened was, because of course they're ill-informed even about the laws of the country, they kept encouraging this au pair to stay in a dangerous situation where they were being abused and even denied food. That is really pathetic. But anyway, do not be afraid. There's actually an initiative, I think, by the German government, and there's a list of au pairs that of au pair agencies based in Germany. You don't have to pay them. They're completely free, and they will work as your middleman when you come here, protect you from the family, replace you, move all these things. They have kind of a guiding system that they have to follow. They have rules that they follow, and it is of no cost to you. Now, how do you find these agencies? You basically look up Au Pair Society in your browser, and I'm going to put the logo here as reference, and basically that's it. Find an au pair agency that you like, apply to all of them, it's really up to you. Most of the time you just need to sign some documents talking about the things you're comfortable with, whether you like pets, how many kids you're willing to take on, and of course you need an Ärztliches attest. This is your doctor's note. I don't know. English is finishing me right now, but you basically need your doctor to say you don't have any of these communicable diseases like TB and so on. That's what I had to do. And what's really wonderful about these people is they actually include you in a lot of other activities. So I went with Mr. Roller, and that is Au Pair Berlin, and we got to go to activities. We went to Rathaus. There's actually something happening in May. I got to meet other au pairs multiple times, ended up going to karaoke with some of them, doing fun things. So you're not isolated and you meet other immigrants. There's also a high likelihood that you will meet au pairs from your country or from somewhere close enough, people you kind of can relate to, and that is fantastic. Third thing, when you come here, buy a SIM card. Buy your own SIM card that's in your name. Do not listen to any family that tells you they will provide a SIM card for you, they will buy you a phone and all of that. It is fine for the first few days, but make sure you have your own phone, even if it's the cheapest thing on the market, and that you have your own SIM card. A lot of the times when families are displeased with you, even when they cancel your contract immediately, which is also illegal, they have to serve you in writing a 2-week notice. they can actually cancel the SIM card as well or confiscate the phone. And if you're in Germany with no phone, no internet, life is going to be very difficult for you because you cannot communicate with any of the contacts that you need. You cannot tell your family what's going on. And sometimes you don't have any starting point to start looking for another family. It is crucial that you have your own device and that you have your own SIM card. Now, if you use an agency that's reputable, like the ones that I noted previously, the ones that I talked about previously, you're entitled to constant communication with your family back home. In fact, one was part of my contract was as soon as I arrive, I was to be given a phone to communicate with my family back home. And so when I came, they just gave me internet. Now you don't really need to have minutes. I think back in the day when this was made, they had to make sure they had enough money for you to call outside of the country, so that would be expensive. I simply WhatsApp called my family and it was fine. But you need to have your own phone. I know a girl whose phone was cancelled as she was traveling. She was on her way somewhere else. The host mom was unhappy and she cancelled the SIM card. I know people whose phones have been confiscated after they told you, no, buy you, we'll give you a car. It's a lie. Nothing comes for free. It's all a lie. Why would you trust people? You're meeting these people on the internet and you're letting them give you a phone. Let's be serious. Have some kind of self-preservation. You need to have your own devices. You need to have your own things. Now, this bleeds into the next point. You need to keep a minimum of 100 euros. This is how much you need to travel within Germany to go somewhere else. Not exactly. Of course, you can use a Flixbus. Sometimes you pay 18 euros, 20 euros, 30 euros, whatever. Maybe you need to move to another family. You need to start over. And I just say 100 euros because that gives you more room to kind of move depending on how quickly you want to move. And even more, it should be a priority to put money aside so you can stay in a hostel because you don't know what goes on. I would say greater than putting money aside and having 100 euros and so on is making sure you're not isolated as an au pair. Talk to your neighbors. Use Bumble BFF. I'm actually going to attach a video somewhere in the cards showing you how I managed to build a community in Germany because you don't want to be isolated. And don't focus on finding people from your home country only. Everybody here in Germany is open to being a friend as long as they're a good person. That's all that matters. But 100 euros minimum in your bank. Don't use that 280 euros as it was intended to. Use it as a person with sense and who has some kind of self-preservation. Now, the next point is keep a complete application form. When you come to Germany, of course, and you use a reputable agency, you already have your application form that can continue to be forwarded to other families. But maybe you want to try out another agency and maybe you've been given 2 weeks notice. Always have your application form ready. If you feel like and you're toying with the idea of not being an au pair anymore, make sure you have your cover letter, a completed CV in German, your certificates and everything in a PDF file so you can start to immediately file out and send out applications. I should talk about this more in another video, but yeah, always have an application at hand ready to forward to the next person. That way you're not stranded and you can keep moving. If you think a situation is dangerous or you're unhappy in a situation but you can stay a little bit, then of course you can use this application packet that you have to start courting and seeing other families, and then you put in your 2 weeks notice, so it doesn't always need to be so rushed. Yeah. And lastly, this should have been the first thing, maybe I didn't know where to place this one, but you need to have all the important contact details written down and on your person at all times. So if you have a situation, I think this happened to Haley, or I actually don't know, she's an American and she was an au pair and she was just chased out of the house. Like they packed her bags when she wasn't there and told her to leave. And if you don't have enough power, you can't get to the charging station and all of that, you always want to have contacts on your person. So if you need to ask somebody to call somebody, or if you need to have contacts on you. And one of these important contacts is also Telefonsiegel. They are more efficient. They're actually a crisis hotline center. And due to another government initiative, I think people lobbied for this. Au pairs are now considered people in crisis who can call this hotline for assistance immediately. So if you need something to be explained for you, you're an au pair in distress, here is the number. I'm going to put that on the screen because everybody needs to have Telefonsiegel. And going back to the point about using a reputable agency, Telefonsiegel was in my contract. So it was already a thing that I knew. I had to have my agent's emergency contact, and I had Telefonsiegel as my emergency contact as well in my contract. So it's important that you have these things. So your mom, your dad, people you know in Germany, and all of that. Because if you need to ask for a phone and you have no battery, what are you going to do? Have that on your person. Keep a book with all your notes and everything on you. And basically, that's it. Those are my 6 tips and tricks if you want to kind of improve your safety as an au pair. This applies to even people who've just started their au pair. You can definitely nitpick certain things, correct some things you're doing wrong, and yeah, life should be a-okay for you. If you've gotten to the end of this video, thank you so much. Make sure you comment down below. I'm going to put it on the screen, okay? Because I don't want to talk to people about these issues when they haven't listened to the video. And when you DM me on Instagram, Telefonsiegel as well, I'm going to put my au pair page and my au pair and volunteer page up here, and we can talk to each other in the next video. Bye.